Toyota Echo. Customer concern is the engine is shaking. She said the changing light is on. The very first thing we do is scan for code. We have P0301 and P0300. Let's look at the freeze frame data to see if we have any direction. Still reading. So I just read that to you. On this freeze frame, the calculated load is at 66%. Engine coolant temperature is at 113 Fahrenheit. Short-term fuel trim 4.7. Long-term fuel trim 3.9. Engine RPM is at 1400. Vehicle speed 15 miles per hour. Intake air temperature 62 Fahrenheit. So it looks like the engine is fairly cold. Fuel trim looks okay. It's within 10%, so if I have to take a guess right now, it will be ignition related. I want to go to Toyota Enhanced mode. I want to see if there's any misfire counter that we can use. But before we do that, maybe we should use go to mode 6 to see misfire history. I don't think so because the car is so old. That's one reason I don't like to work on older cars, because the scan data is slow. Mode 6 shows nothing. Of course it's loading. So knowing that event happened when the engine temperature is cold, right now it's about the same temperature, so it should be very easy to recreate the misfire. And then we do some brake torque at 1500 RPM to see if we can feel the misfire. You want me to put the VIN number. Okay. Let's take a look at what is available to us. We do have a misfire monitor. Fuel trim system. Misfire RPM, misfire load. We do have misfire counter. That's great. Let's minimize our data pitch so we can speed up the update rate. We do want to know it's open loop, closed loop. We do want to look at the coolant temperature. I think that will do it. Low, okay. Maybe let's add RPM just because. Engine speed. Let's do a little bit brake torque, see if the misfire get worse or not. So brake torque is just go to reverse and then just snap the throttle. Whoa. I'm not sure if the camera can pick that up, but it's really rough. Okay. I think the spark plug is okay. The problem is in the coil. Let's go take a look. The tool that I'm going to use is GTC 505. It's a handheld ignition lab scope. So the ignition coil looks good. So this is one, looks good. And this is two. I think we found the problem. Let me show you the secondary ignition waveform for coil number 1. Okay, so this is ignition coil number 1. And let's move to the cylinder number 2. This is cylinder number 2. This is cylinder number 3. This is cylinder number 4. And then let me show you one more time for the cylinder number 1. Oh shit, the ring is getting harder. Okay. As you can see, we don't need to be a secondary ignition waveform analysis expert to know that the number 1 waveform looks totally different from the rest of the 3 cylinders. So that is going to be our direction. So I took out the ignition coil for cylinder number 1 and 2. I think I see a problem already. This one is cylinder number 2. You can see it's nice and dry. But this one here, this thing is wet. Like when I take this out, you can see here, there are water. And then there is also water inside the spark plug tube.
Oh, hi. How much is it?
I don't know yet. So this is a close shot of spark plug 1. Not sure how good the camera can pick up. The tip kind of worn, but that's not the problem for the Misfire. Let me show you what the real problem is. This is ignition coil 1. You see crack here? I didn't catch this in the first place until I look at number 2 and then number 3 and number 4. You see there's a silicone over the ignition coil. So vehicle history, the lady had this car for 2 years. Never had any misfire problem until recently. I would say the guy who sold her the car did a cheap fix to the ignition coil, just used the silicone to patch the coil. My repair order for this one will be new spark plug and new ignition coil, and that will fix this problem. I think that's it. There's no concern for engine mechanical problem whatsoever. Fuel injector seems to be fine. I'm not worried about that. That's all. Spark plug, ignition coil. Thanks for watching.